Hi everyone, welcome back to Once Upon a Melody, or welcome if you're new. I'm Melody, and today we're going to be taking a look at feminism and K-pop. So if you're interested, go ahead and give a like on this video, and let's get right into it. So if you're wondering what in the world feminism has to do with K-pop, I don't blame you. Most groups have stayed away from political or controversial issues for pretty much one reason only, which was the restrictions that were placed on the music industry by the Korean government up until the late 90s. You can go watch my video about Sotaejian Boys for more about how they fought against those restrictions from the government and pretty much allowed K-pop to be what it is today. Back in the beginning of K-pop, when it first started really getting big in the early 2000s, girl groups especially were staying away from controversial topics like feminism. They were really just trying to appeal to the male gaze and make sure that they weren't being too controversial for men to listen to them. So how does feminism come into this? Well, there was a big feminist movement in mid-2010s called the 4B movement.
In terms of this action-reaction, like that, there's this 4B movement that has been propping up. And I've been seeing this, which I also think is 100% understandable, but also is part of the social media negative polarization churn. Explain 4B.
Right, so 4B, it's a South Korean movement. In South Korea, if you want to look at kind of, not necessarily worst case scenario, but a scary scenario for where this goes, where women and men are so far apart. Part of how women have reacted to this rampant misogyny is just to withdraw.
South Korea's feminist 4B movement is built on 4 principles: no dating, no marriage, no childbirth, and no sex.
You might have heard of this because it is currently making waves in America with our current political climate.
Viral storm on social media.
Start by taking back your power.
Taking radical steps. You may have seen it. Talk of the 4B movement gaining steam.
4B movement.
The 4B movement? The 4B movement. So what is it?
The 4B movement has been gaining popularity in the United States lately since the presidential election, in which a convicted felon has won the requisite electoral votes to become the next president, possibly ushering in an era of compulsory tradwifery for the American AFAB population, at least according to the infamous Project 2025 document that the new president's party is pushing as doctrine. The 4B movement, if you have not heard of it, started in South Korea as a protest against the misogyny of their government and populace. Single women in Korea have been acting out this protest by avoiding what is called the 4Bs. Biseksu, no sex with men; Bicholsan, no giving birth; Biode, no dating men; and Bihon, no marriage with men. The birth rate in Korea has been plummeting since a high in 1960 of 5.95 births per woman to a current rate in 2022 of 0.78 births per woman. For comparison, the US was at 1.66 births per woman in 2022. The Korean birth rate has been on a steady decline since it reached the level necessary for replacement in 1983, which is the amount of births that are needed per woman to replace those that are dying, or about 2.1 children per woman. In 2005, Korea's government instituted the Framework Act on Low Birth Rate in an Aging Society and launched the 5-year plan for an aging society and population in 2006. The ongoing 4th iteration of the plan from 2021 to 2025 has cost more than $270 billion since its enactment. However, Korea's birth rate has continued to decline because of institutional, structural, and cultural factors like work inequality and uncertainty, a family-unfriendly work culture that does not include daycare or time off for caring for children, the high cost of raising children period, and the gender essentialist cultural family structure. Sound familiar, American Republicans? These factors have informed Korean women's choices much more than any governmental acts could. The 4B movement is actually a minority radical feminist group in Korea, despite how much you've heard of it in American media. The 4B movement radicalized many young women. The beginning of the 4B movement was a mostly online movement at that time to show others that misogyny was prevalent in Korea. For example, women are expected to dress a certain way, wear makeup out in public, and act a certain way, etc.
A fringe feminist campaign from South Korea.
In South Korea, for women to have kids, and women felt extremely undervalued, so they have sort of banded together.
Women that started the movement encouraged young women to fight against these social expectations. And cases such as the Nth Room and others also ignited the 4B movement. And politicians and a minority of men used feminist rhetoric to gain their own popularity. In 2021, abortions were decriminalized in Korea by a court order. This has given Korean women a slight bit more of freedom to decide if or when to have a child. In the US, however, birth rates have remained pretty steady since 1990. Actually, they have slightly increased from 1.64 to 1.66 births per woman between 2020 and 2022. COVID babies, anyone? So why are American women now jumping on the 4B train? American feminism has gone through many iterations, from the beginning in the 1800s when mostly upper-class white women fought for the right to vote, to the 1970s fight for the Equal Rights Amendment, which still has not passed, to the battle for abortion in recent years. In June of 2022, the United States Supreme Court decided that the long-held abortion policies in the U.S. were unconstitutional. The right to an abortion was overturned as a federally protected right in the United States because the majority of the members of the Supreme Court agreed that it is not quote-unquote, deeply rooted in the nation's history or tradition, and that abortion, quote-unquote, was not considered when the Due Process Clause was ratified in 1868. This overturn was mainly due to the fact that then-President Donald Trump appointed 3 Supreme Court judges, all conservative-leaning, of course, during his first term. Now we in the United States are facing a second Trump presidency, this time with even more conservatism. Since the overturn of abortion rights, abortion bans have been enacted in 14 Republican-controlled states. The conservative lobbying group, the Heritage Foundation, has also introduced their 2025 Presidential Transition Project, aka Project 2025. This 900-plus page document lays out what the group wants the president to accomplish during their term. They've written such a document every election year, but only when Reagan was elected did some of their ideas in their then 1,100-page document become policy. Nearly 2/3 of these policies became law, to be exact. Project 2025 seeks to impose a hierarchical, gendered, patriarchal vision of society. It is particularly focused on enforcing a vision of the family that relies on fixed and narrow-defined gender roles. Now that the U.S. has an incoming conservative Republican president, vice president, and House and Senate, many women in the U.S. are scared, and rightly so. The changing political landscape aside, many influencers have been voicing their concerns over American women for the past few years as well.
Don't feel safe in this country. My life!
Adding fuel to the fire, posts from Trump-supporting provocateurs with large male audiences, like white nationalist Nick Fuentes saying, "Your body, my choice, forever." And self-described misogynist influencer Andrew Tate facing and sex trafficking charges in Romania, which he denies, responding to the 4B movement saying, now you don't even need abortions.
When Trump was first elected in 2016, many women and supporters flooded the streets in front of the White House to protest his misogyny. The same thing is happening now with women in America co-opting the 4B movement online to voice their disdain against the incoming presidency.
With Trump's win, a lot of creepy dudes have decided they can go mask off and let us know how they really feel about women. And in response, American women are campaigning to follow South Korea's lead by participating in the 4B movement.
Despite women making up more of the college-educated workforce, tensions between misogynists and feminists have only risen since 2016 in the United States. Many influencers on both sides of the aisle have continued to profit off videos about the 4B movement and feminism during the past 8 years, despite and because of the advancements women have made in society in the U.S. One male creator, the real James SB, went viral for his stance on single women.
A lot of red flags, to be honest, because now you got your counterparts and your peers asking behind your back if you're even capable of keeping a relationship, keeping a man and keeping a woman, etc. See, a lot of y'all felt triggered by that settle video, which was eye-opening to me because obviously we have a lot of women living in a state of delusion, thinking that they just going to find the most perfect man ever, and if not, and they can't find that, they'll just be single, as if that's supposed to do any type of advancement to our society. Ask yourself, what is your purpose on the earth as a woman if you're not seeking some type of family, and especially family of your own? Like, what exactly are you trying to accomplish on this earth? Are you trying to be masculine or what? Like, what's the deal?
One of the top comments has 93,000 likes and says, "You're just convincing women to join the 4B movement at this point." However, these types of videos and others from the likes of Nick Fuentes and Andrew Tate have radicalized young men into voting for people like Trump because of their perceived loss of rights at the hands of feminists. Women also had their own entertainment avenues, such as feminist websites and influencers. Some such influencers have in fact been K-pop girl groups. Girl groups have always been popular since the beginning, from the Kim sisters to the virality of Girls' Generation song G. However, they have exploded in recent years with a less cutesy or sexy concept, which catered more to men and leaning more into feminist ideologies and attracting more female fans. For some examples, BoA released her song Woman in 2018. The song idealizes BoA's perception of a real woman and condemns the practice of making women compete against each other. BoA embraces her womanhood and inspires other women to do so as well by urging them to be comfortable in their own skin and set their own standards for themselves. BoA herself is of course a feminist icon, as she pretty much saved SM Entertainment from financial ruin when she joined the company at just 13 years old. Then there is the song by Miss A called I Don't Need a Man. This song, which exudes power, confidence, and financial independence through and through, the music video displays the members embracing both their masculine and feminine sides. But it isn't too hyper-masculine or over the top, pointing out that one can still be feminine and a feminist. Mamamoo's song Hip also took an approach to this duality of women. By having each member portray a dual role in the music video, one feminine and one masculine, or at least less conventional for a woman. Solar portrayed a singer and boxer, Moonbyul portrayed a choreographer and a corporate employee, Wheein portrayed a social activist and an artist, and Hwasa portrayed a mother and a president, all of which cohesively go into establishing the fact that women are capable of achieving anything. Then we recently had G-Idol's song Wife. There are some debates as to if Wife is a feminist anthem or not because of the double meaning of the lyrics.
Artists, especially male hip-hop musicians, have many songs that talk about. But in Korea, female musicians tend to express themselves more prudently when they sing about. But a woman who desires isn't a bad or wrong woman, right? I believe every woman has her own desires and personality, and I wanted to portray an active female character with such desires just...
In their article from February of 2024, Yoo-yeon Shin says about the critics of Wife that the lyrics by themselves sound submissive and self-objectifying. In Wife, the English lyrics contain lines to describe a traditional wife's role, such as, "I clean your room, I cook cream soup, and I make you feel so high," but followed with lines such as, "Want me as your wife, but she is mm-mm-mm." However, there is "but I'm not" written on the description of the song on Korean music apps. People on the internet found out that if you reverse the color scheme of their album's track list, red and black, you would get blue and white, which are the colors the group members wear in the music video. All the clues hint that the song has nothing to do with pleasing the male gaze, but rather a satire to it. It aligns with what Wife is trying to promote, that women should be able to have choices and the freedom to choose what they want to be. The recent expansion of the K-pop industry into global markets has further influenced the rise of girl groups. This transition has also resulted in a growing focus on themes that resonate with women, contributing to the diversification of the K-pop music landscape. Estimates of 72 to 85% of girl group sales are from female buyers, and groups like Blackpink's unrivaled influence on global music charts, including Billboard, symbolically show that the rival of K-pop girl groups is beginning in earnest. So, in conclusion, what can American women learn from Korea's empowering music industry and the 4B movement? Many women, Korean and American alike, simply want to be treated with respect and not be expected to give up their internal values for a partner. I do want to find a partner, get married, and have children, but I will not do so at the cost of my inner peace, sacrificing my values or identity to overlook bad behavior. Nor will I continue to downgrade my achievements or suppress my needs in order to inflate a man's ego, says Isha Sharma, the author of the USA Today article, South Korea's 4B movement boycotting men is a familiar feminist cry. Hey everyone, I feel like I kind of didn't end the video properly the first time, so I'm here on a different day to kind of try to say what I wanted to say a little bit better. I sound very sunshines and rainbows.
I wish that I could bake a cake made out of rainbows and smiles and we'd all eat it, be happy. She doesn't even go.
But honestly, like, we do need to work together here, and to an extent with men and other non-women people. Like, we can't just completely exclude them from the work that we're trying to do, if that makes sense. Sure, go ahead and don't date them and do the 4Bs and all that kind of stuff if you want to, but do try to find men and other people in your life that are not women that will support women during this time. Because the 4B movement, it may affect men on, a very superficial level, but it won't affect their lives overall because they will still be in positions of power, especially rich white men. And to bring up systemic change, we need a movement that is bigger than swearing off dating and sex and marriage and children with men. It's honestly a time that we need to lift up people that are more marginalized than we are and not bring other people down. So yes, support women and AFAB and LGBTQ+ and BIPOC people in your life, please. And even those people that you may not know, speak up if and when you feel safe enough to do so, when you see injustices happening either to yourself or to other people. As Edmund Burke said, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men and women and everybody else to do nothing. We need to get everybody on the same page about these issues. Like, listening to your favorite music can definitely help you feel better and to motivate you to do these things. Well, that's all that I have for you today. If you have any comments that you would like to leave down below, please go ahead and leave them there. Please make sure that it is civil and be nice to each other. Give this video a like if you liked it today, and subscribe if you're new around here. I analyze K-pop music and its relationship with our current culture and society. So if you are interested in videos more like that, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any more uploads from me. I also have a variety of links down in the description below where you can go and support me, including a link to this hoodie that I'm wearing today, which says I'm okay. It has that design on the front and the back. This is from Two Crows Collective. You can use my code and my link in my description below to save 15% on your order. So go ahead and click on that link if you'd like. This video is not sponsored, but it is an affiliate link, so I will get a certain amount on commission from that, along with all the other affiliate links that I list in my description. You can also follow me on my social media. I have Instagram and Twitter right now, but I might be getting rid of my Twitter soon, so keep your eyes open for news about that. But if you'd like to follow me on any of my social media, go ahead and follow me at the links down below as well. And again, thank you as always for being here and for watching. Don't forget to drink some water, take your meds, and eat something today if you haven't done those 3 things yet. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!